Vice President of Programs, Engineering, and Test, will share the tremendous progress we're making on our G500 and G600 development programs. Lastly, Derek Zimmerman, our President of Gulfstream Product Support, will talk about our entry into service plans for the G500 and the G600, and he'll share with you some of the investments we're making to support our operators around the world. Following our formal presentation, Steve Cass, our Vice President of Communications, will moderate our question and answer period. So without further ado, I'll turn it over to Mark to start our presentation.
Thank you, Janine. Good morning, everyone. It's without a doubt a pleasure for us to be here today. We've been looking forward to this show for the entire year. It's an honor for Janine and Derek and Dan and I to be here to represent all the members of Gulfstream. We arrived here in Orlando with a very compelling story, and I believe it's the most compelling story in the entire industry. The support provided by General Dynamics has enabled us to significantly, over the last 10 years, invest in people, products, and services, including the all-new G500 and G600. These models are the latest technology. They provide incredible range and speed. The labs that we've invested in and the research we've done over the last few years have made these airplanes the safest, most efficient airplanes in the industry. We are very proud to have the G500 with a new interior in it here this week. This research and development that we've done over the last few years has presented to us the opportunity to have a very predictable flight test program. The program's gone well. We're ahead of schedule on the 500. We'll fly the G600 ahead of our original schedule, and these airplanes will perform just as we said they will. So we're really excited about what you're going to get to see this week. We've delivered 88 airplanes so far through the end of the third quarter. We flew, as I said, the very first G500 with an interior in it that looks incredible. We're preparing to put the 600 in the air. We had an incredible accomplishment by a customer that flew an airplane, the G280, almost 4,000 nautical miles, so 3922, just an incredible performance. And we continue to try to be a leader in this industry by creating efficiency, utilizing renewable fuels, not only in our testing program, but also in our corporate use, as well as our product support airplanes as well. So there's definitely been some headwinds in the industry. We've talked about those many times. You've seen it and read it just as much as any of us have. But we had a very good third quarter. The third quarter was the strongest third quarter we've had since 2011, led by the G650 and G650ER. We continue to see incredible interest in the 550 with its range of 6750. The 280 activity is growing, not just here in North America, but throughout Western Europe now. So we're seeing a great deal of activity on the G280. We did deliver or sell our last G150 earlier this year, and we will deliver that airplane to a customer at the end of or the beginning of next year. Still a big market for us. It's not just the U.S. market, though we did see a little bit more sales here in the U.S. than we did internationally. It's still about a 50-50 mix for the airplanes that we're selling today. You know, I started, as Dan did, back in the early 80s, and the G4 airplane was kind of a game-changing moment for our company. And so it was definitely a tough decision when we made it several years ago that we would transition the 450 out of service. We're very proud of this airplane. When I started, if you built 200, 250 airplanes, that was a good aircraft program. This one we've built over 800. So this is an incredible airplane, a great performer. We're going to support it for a number of years. But as we've been talking for the past several years, we did in fact have a transition plan from the 450 to the G500. The last 450 will go out of service to a customer in 2018 as we begin to ramp up the G500 fleet. So what differentiates us? I think this is a question that's important. I get it asked this quite frequently. We're financially very strong. We have an incredible parent company in General Dynamics that invests in the future and that holds us accountable for that investment each and every day. We have a long history of delivering on the promises that we make. When the G650 was announced, we said 9.0 airplane that would go 5,000 miles. We delivered an airplane that goes over 6,000 miles. So it is about meeting the expectations and the commitments that we've made to our customers. We continue to invest not just in airplanes, but our people and our products and services around the world. And we believe we've got a customer support network really second to none. And Derek will certainly go through that here at the end of the program today. There's our lineup that we'll be touting here at NBAA. And you can see from the 650 down to the 280, the incredible range and speed of these particular airplanes. The 650, it's just incredible. It seems like just a few months ago that the airplane started entering into service at the end of 12, and we have built over 230 of these airplanes. We've delivered over 200 to customers now, so we're extremely excited about what this airplane is. The interest around the world continues to be very strong for Scott Neal and his team in sales, and we're very proud of what these airplanes do each and every day. I'm going to show you a quick video, I hope it comes on, of our new demonstrator airplane. Did I do it wrong? Go back one. Don't touch it. So this should be, if it ever comes up, it's not going to come up. Okay. So, sorry about that. If you could have seen it, it's our new 650 demonstrator. It is a 4 living area airplane. Incredible width to the airplane. It is truly unmatched in anything we've built so far. I think it's going to be a great demonstrator for us to show the cabin experience on the G650. If you get out to the static display, that airplane will be there for you to see. Again, the 550 continues to do well. Building over 500 of these, that's just an amazing testament to the strength of the airplane, reliability, and performance of the airplane. The 280, as I said, increasing interest. We've delivered over 100 of the airplanes now. The market continues to grow both here in the U.S. as well as Europe, seeing a lot more activity all around the world for this airplane. The cabin experience, seeing the airplane inside is just a great thing for our customers. It has turned a lot of heads. The performance of the airplane, the wing and the engine have been outstanding, and we will obviously have one of those out at the static as well. London City has long been one of the things that we had coveted with the airplane. We just finished up the demonstration flights at London City for the 280, and we hope to get the final certification here in the next few weeks. So I'm going to talk about, and Dan will as well, the G500 and 600 program. The investment that we've made in the labs and in preparation for this flight test have been unlike anything we've ever done, and I would assume anything like anyone else in the industry has done. These airplanes are efficient and reliable. The new paint job even makes it look a little bit more aggressive, looks fast. There's the numbers. We've talked about that a number of times. These airplanes are living up to that in flight test. We feel very confident in the numbers you see here. The airplanes have been efficient. The engines are doing extremely well in their testing. The cabin is unlike anything else we've built. You'll get a chance to see that. It's very similar thought process to the 650, but an all new look and feel to the cabin. We'll have not only the first production article of the G500 out at the static, we'll have a mock-up of the G600 as well. Dan will talk about Symmetry Flight Deck a little bit, but this is another opportunity for us to make the airplane safer make it more efficient, make it more user-friendly with touchscreens and active side stick control, synthetic vision, auto brake, HUD, EBS, all the things that make these airplanes safe and worldwide performers. This is the airplane that will be out on display, so we're excited about that. Please take an opportunity to go out and look at the new interior, see the airplane up close and personal. This is, or supposed to be, yeah, same problem. Okay, if you could see that, that would be the beautiful interior of the new G500 airplane. I had a chance earlier, over the last couple of weeks, earlier in this week, to walk through it with our designers and craftsmen that built the airplane, and it is incredible, the craftsmanship that went into to this airplane. I'm sorry we can't show you the video. Okay. So again, at the static display, we'll have a pavilion, and it will have the 600 mock-up in it. You know, we've spent probably 3 years now with a lot of customer involvement and feedback from shows like this and our customer advisory board crafting this interior experience. And what you'll see this week is really the culmination of 3 years worth of hard work by a lot of people, including our customers, to bring forth what is one of the most incredible interiors you will ever experience. So take a chance to do that. I want to take a moment. This is going to be another experiment here, but we're going to see if we can go live to our flight test center. We're fortunate. Do I need to click again, or do we cut? So we're fortunate that we have one of our best and brightest as our leader at our flight test team in Savannah. So I'm going to introduce LD Berger, who's our Vice President of Flight Test from our flight test facility in Savannah. Good morning, LD.
Good morning. Thank you, Mark.
How about tell us a little bit, I'm sorry, I'm walking all over you here. Tell us a little bit about what's going on in flight test today with the G600.
Well, I wish I could be there with all of you in person, but things are moving at quite a quick pace here at our flight test center, where we're busily preparing the G600 for flight. Behind me, you'll see the first G600, aircraft serial number 73001. I'd like to tell you guys a little bit about what we're doing to get this aircraft ready for first flight. Earlier this month, we completed the required ground vibration testing, and currently we're working on finalizing instrumentation installs, including flutter vanes, accelerometers, so we can launch right into flutter testing immediately after first flight. Along with that, we're validating thousands of instrumentation parameters. In addition, we're also incorporating any last-minute engineering changes and running final testing, so we'll be ready to go to outside operations in just a few weeks. With all of this activity at the aircraft, we've also been working in parallel, completing structural testing. Just last week, we completed limit load testing on the fuselage and the wing. And while we've been hard at work over here, our colleagues at the Research and Development Center across campus are putting the G600 through its virtual paces in our extensive ground systems laboratories. With all of that work done and completed already, we're well on our way to seeing the G600 in the skies over Savannah later this year. We can't wait to show you all what the newest addition to this Gulfstream fleet can do. Back to you, Mark.
So every morning, LD sends me an email and kind of gives me an idea of what the day's events are going to be and what the testing for the different airplanes will be. So LD, would you tell everybody a little bit about the 500 program, how things are going?
Well, things are going great. The testing's going well. The aircraft is doing remarkably well. The reliability is unbelievable. Today we're going to be testing G500 T1 and T2. They're scheduled to fly today. And we're also working actually on G600 second test article. We call it T32, and that was just handed over to us from production just last week. So we have 2 flight test articles for the G600 now here.
Thank you, LD, and keep us safe today, okay?
Will do, Mark.
All right.
Wish I could be there with you. Have a great day.
All right, you too. Thanks for joining us. This is absolutely the program that we had planned. We have spent years preparing for these first flights and for the certification of these airplanes, and you can't say enough about LD and Dan Nail and the team of what they've done to bring us to this point to be ahead of schedule in delivering these airplanes. So we're really excited about that. I'm going to say a few words before we bring Dan up. You know, when we announced these airplanes many years ago, just after we began working, or after we announced the 650, we actually began working on these airplanes behind the scenes. And as we announced them in 2014, we've done a significant amount of work. And you can see the first flight for the 500 took place on time. The first build and delivery to flight test for the 600 took place on time. We are a company that holds ourselves accountable for the commitments we've made to our customers. And we believe at this point, all of this preparation that Dan and the team have done have put us in a good position to be ahead of our schedule that we started many, many years ago. So with that, I will ask Dan to come up and give us some further update on the program.
Well, good morning, and thank you, Mark. It was a good update from LD. Before I actually start my remarks, I did want to just recognize a few folks. Mark Kohler is the Vice President of Programs for the G500, G600, and Andy Slater, who's the Chief Engineer. Also wanted to pass on thanks to our pilots, Colin Miller and Scott Evans, that have flown these aircraft and helped us with the flight test program. And I also want to recognize a lot of the suppliers that are here, specifically Pratt & Whitney with PW800 engines, and those engines are performing very well. John, so thank you for that. And Dan on the Honeywell systems, excellent work with those, and we appreciate that. As you saw in that photo, that was actually me and Scott Neal coming down here on P1. And the amazing thing about that is realizing that we probably have almost less than a year of flight testing. The maturity of these aircraft is something like I've never seen. Having been at Gulfstream for 32 years, I've never experienced a program that has the coordination and maturity associated with these aircraft and what we're seeing right now in the flight test program. And it's really an attribute to the investment that General Dynamics has done to Gulfstream in order to allow us to invest in these labs to do the maturity and the integration. So as LD had highlighted, we've got 5 aircraft in the program, T1 through T4. Each one of those aircraft has a specific use, and I'll show those here in a few minutes. And then also we have P1, which you'll see out of the static. And please take the opportunity this week to go out and look at that aircraft. The interior is absolutely beautiful. So we've achieved 995 at 53,000 feet. And a lot of you will probably have the question afterwards, you know, is this the supersonic program? It is not the supersonic program. So even though we've had high speeds on this aircraft, it's performing very well, and certainly that's an attribute of the performance and aerodynamics that have gone into this platform from our 650 and all the things we've learned, as well as the great performance of the engines from Pratt & Whitney. Longest duration flight, 8 hours, 24 minutes, happened to be from Savannah to Farnborough. We've actually shown off the aircraft at the air show. This is an example of some of the investment in the testing. We call this the Iron Bird, even though it's actually aluminum. But it actually incorporates all of the electromechanical systems, the avionics, the data concentration network, the side sticks, everything that's in the cockpit, all of the Honeywell software, all of the engine controls. And we utilize this along with the flight control systems from Parker, as well as Move on our flap systems, to ensure that everything's integrated and to the highest maturity before it goes onto our aircraft. As a matter of fact, I'll speak a little bit about our flight test efficiency initiative we have with the FAA, and how these tests are actually paying dividends to support improving our flight test program as well as our safety. So as Mark had mentioned, we're on track with the G500 to have certification in 2017. We've completed all of the limit and ultimate static testings successfully on the aircraft. It has performed extremely well. We've initiated the fatigue testing, which will stay in front of the aircraft and as we go into certification in order to lead the fleet. With our friends at Flight Safety, we have the simulator that's been up and running for about a year to incorporate all of the benefits associated with the cockpit, with the active control side sticks, the 10 touch screens, and all of the items that we've incorporated to improve that cockpit with the latest technology. The successful FAA Flight Test Initiative is something that we're very proud of. As we've worked through the 3 phases of this program, we have a development phase, a company phase, and a flight test phase. So we've coordinated all of the maturity and integration that we're seeing in our labs, and associated with that, had sessions with the FAA on all of our flight testing. We've been able to actually reduce our company testing from our original plan by 20%. and our certification testing by 30%. And what's significant about that is it is not only a benchmark for the industry, but it's also much more efficient and it's a safer program. So we're very proud of that, and we're thankful for the relationship we have with the FAA to work through that. G500 production, this is the 7th unit. You can see it's going very well. This is what we call the laydown and the area where we actually put the systems installations in. The next effort will be actually joining the wing and then the engines and taking that aircraft and getting it ready to fly. The deliveries are expected in the 4th quarter ahead of schedule. So as I mentioned, with all the initiatives, which you've seen from LD's update on the flight test program, as well as the work with the FAA and our labs, P1 is extremely mature. It's going very well. The interior and the details are absolutely amazing. As I mentioned, please take the opportunity to go out to the static and get on the aircraft. The flight test aircraft for the 600, LD had mentioned, this is T1, which would be the G7 aircraft for the test aircraft for our G600 program. This aircraft will actually is scheduled to fly before the end of the year, and it's on track to do that. We've had a couple of our first flight readiness reviews to ensure the aircraft is mature and all the issues are resolved, and that is going extremely smooth, thanks to Mark and Andy and the team. G600 is on track for certification in 2018. Likewise, we have integration test facilities for both of these aircraft. The structural testing is currently underway to clear the aircraft for its first flight. The pure power PW 815 engines on the G600 and 814 engines on the G500 are performing extremely well. As a matter of fact, if you compare the performance of these engines to our G450, they're actually almost 30% more efficient based on the latest technology that's incorporated in this, and that Pratt is taking advantage of. And certainly we see benefits on the 600 as well. Test aircraft are working through the production stage, and certainly we'll look at a few more details on the 600. So LD was standing in front of T1. T2 is the second test aircraft. T1 will do all the performance testing. T2 will do all the avionics testing. T3 does the systems testing. And T4 does all of the function and reliability testing. And likewise, we will take the first production aircraft, install an interior to ensure that we work out all of the details and the integration items. So our 600 is slated to enter service in 2018. We're proud of that, and certainly thankful for all of the work and investment in our people and our services that have enabled that to be possible. And with that, I'll turn it over to my colleague, Derek Zimmerman, the president of Pratt Support.
Thank you, Dan. Good morning. It's my great pleasure to represent over 4,000 Gulfstream technicians and support personnel located around the world. This is the Gulfstream mission: to design, build, and support the best business aircraft in the world. We have always believed that taking great care of our customers throughout the life cycle of the aircraft is key to what we do. And to that end, we continue to make significant investments in product support to provide an ever-expanding portfolio of service, spares, and support solutions for all Gulfstream models. As it relates to G500 and G600 entry into service, a team of product support employees have been embedded within the G500 and G600 programs since their inception, and they're incorporating lessons learned and leveraging new technologies and opportunities. We're also caring for the flight test aircraft, validating maintenance procedures and publications, ordering spare parts and tools, and training technical personnel to be ready for entry into service. While we are already seeing the benefits of high reliability in flight test, operators will also see the advantages in aircraft availability through a 25% increase in key maintenance intervals and elimination of certain calendar inspections. We continue to expand our field and airborne support teams. This is a resource footprint beyond our service centers, and this integrated network of technicians, tools, and transport capabilities comprise FAST, Field and Airborne Support Teams. This network has grown to include multiple dedicated aircraft, a fleet of specially equipped heavy-duty trucks, and over 140 highly trained technicians on multiple continents. We recently added mobile repair teams in Chicago, Seattle, and Washington, D.C., and will soon add South Florida and Paris teams as well. This investment in capabilities allows us to quickly reach operators almost anywhere in the world and meet their service needs, which we have done over 4,000 times in the past year. We also continue to invest in spare parts, distribution centers, and repair capabilities for all aircraft models. We have over $1.6 billion in dedicated spares-only inventory, in addition to access to another $1 billion in production inventory. Our new state-of-the-art Gulfstream-owned and operated distribution center is now fully operational and expands our capacity by over 30% while providing new tools to ensure accurate and timely shipments. We make over 35,000 shipments every month, utilizing more than 20 stocking locations. We just added Melbourne, Australia, and expanded our East and West Coast facilities in the US. However, our investments go well beyond new product and service capabilities to include innovation and modernization. We continue to focus on making sure that our customers get the most out of their existing aircraft, including access to many of the new cockpit and cabin technologies now available in our new aircraft. Our G4 and G5 fleet represents over 700 aircraft, and with mandate deadlines on the horizon, we have developed and certified integrated solutions for ADS-B, FANS 1A, data link recording, and TCAS 7.1. We also offer an expanded range of cabin options, including network connectivity, cabin management, and layout and styling solutions. In regards to cabin connectivity, we are also pleased to announce the introduction of JetConnect's Ka-band solutions for the Gulfstream fleet, with certified installation commencing in 2017. JetConnects will continue to offer Gulfstream operators the most capable, consistent, reliable, and fastest data solution in our industry. JetConnect's Ka-band maximum download speeds is up to 7.5 times faster than Ku-band and up to 34 times faster than L-band technology, which represents a leap forward in system capability and functionality. We are demonstrating this advanced technology at both the static display and in the convention booth. Finally, one of our largest and most meaningful investments is in our people. We partner with some of the best companies, schools, and communities to develop world-class technical talent and capabilities. This year, we will provide 15,000 days of formal technical training to our workforce and another 120,000 hours of classroom and OJT training. I am particularly proud of the 2,000 Gulfstream employees and operators who have achieved the Master Technician certification. In total, Gulfstream certified technicians represent over 60% of all Master Technicians in our industry. And in closing, the Gulfstream brand is strong, and we remain committed to delivering the world's finest aviation experience. The strength of our brand has allowed us to make significant and ongoing investment in our ability to design, build, and support industry-leading aircraft. I am incredibly proud of our employees and partners and how they consistently meet our commitments, keep our promises, and exceed our customers' already high expectations. Now, I would like to invite Mr. Steve Cass, our Vice President of Communications, to open the Q&A session. Thank you.
All right.